Hi, this is David McCann for WebTNG. In this video, I'm taking a look at Zion Builder, specifically the theme building features of Zion Builder that allow us to create the single and archive templates for custom post types. There's a free version of the Zion Builder available in the WordPress plugin directory. The Pro version is available from the Zion Builder website. You can see that Zion Builder's available in an annual subscription, or there's currently an unlimited website lifetime option. And there's a chart that shows the features that are available in the free version and the Pro version. The Pro version has dynamic content, which we'll need, and the theme builder, which we'll need. So we'll be looking at the Pro version. There's currently a sale available for the lifetime unlimited site version on AppSumo, and in the video description I'll include a link, and I'll remove that link and switch back to the website after the AppSumo sale is over. I have a demo site set up using the free Blocksy theme, and as you can see, I have some test posts here. And I also have a custom post type called books. This is what the book archive looks like. I didn't see an option to make this smaller in the customizer. Could maybe do it with some CSS. And then this is what the book single looks like. Again, you can see that the featured image is huge, and none of the custom fields are showing. What I'd like to do is have a two-column layout here with the featured image and custom fields on the left and this content on the right. If we look in the admin, you can see that I used CPTUI to create the books custom post type and the books genres custom taxonomy. And I used advanced custom fields to create the custom fields for the books custom post type. If you're unfamiliar with this process, check the first video in this series that walks through how to create this custom post type and add custom fields using CPTUI and advanced custom fields. We can see that I've added some book records, and if we look at one, we can see here's the title, the content, the genre, and the featured image, which is the book cover. And then here are the custom fields. There's a URL field, which is a link to the author's website, and there's an image field which has the author's photo. If we look at the plugins that I have installed, here's the advanced custom fields, here's the custom post type UI plugin. This is all-in-one WP migration, which I use for backup and migrating the site. This is the free companion plugin for the Blocksy theme. I use WP Reset to reset the site between testing cycles. And then here's the free Zion Builder and the Pro Zion Builder. To use Pro, you have to have the free version installed. It builds on top of that. When you activate Zion Builder, you get a new menu item, and there are two main menus. This is the settings, and this is the theme builder. We'll be coming back and working in the theme builder in a minute, but let's take a quick look at the settings. There are a number of tabs here. In the general settings, these are the post types that you can use the Zion Builder on, which is different than the theme builder. When this is checked, it allows you to use Zion Builder to create the content area. Most people will probably just have it enabled for pages. You can enable a maintenance mode, which is built into the builder, and this is nice if you're setting up a new site and you don't want visitors to stumble across it before it's done. This is the builder theme. There's a light mode and a dark mode. There are font options. You can set up Google Fonts, custom fonts, or Adobe fonts. You can add icon packs, and you can set up color palettes and preset gradients. There's a pretty robust role manager for using the Zion Builder, access to use it. So you can do it by WordPress role, or you can add users and give specific users permissions. This is where you can add and manage templates, which are different from the theme builder templates. The same for blocks. These are some utilities for regenerating the CSS and JavaScript. And this is so you can sync the library of templates The Zion Builder comes with some pre-designed templates, and so this would sync that library. Here's another tool for updating the site URL if you've migrated from another URL, from another site. This is system information in case you need to contact support. They might ask for this information. And here you see that it has a warning that I only have 40 megabytes of memory allocated and they recommend 64, giving me a warning that I don't have a child theme enabled. I'm not planning to make any modifications to Blocksy, so this doesn't matter here. But before we'll go on, I will update this by adding a line to the WP config file. So here's the WP config file. This is on localhost. So I'll add this and save it. And now let's go back and refresh that page. And that looks good. Okay. And then the last menu item here is where you enter your license key. And this is a link to the documentation on the Zion Builder website. Okay, let's look at the theme builder. Here we have the default template that would be used for all post types. And since we haven't defined anything, the site's just going to use what the theme gives us, what Blocksy gives us. This is where we could see ones that have been defined. So we'll add a new one. We'll call it Book Archive Template. These are all the rules, the options, the places where you can use the template. And we'll want it for the archives. So I'm going to save that. And we get a card here. I'm going to continue using the Blocksy header and footer, but we want to replace what's in the body. So I'm going to add a new component here, and I'm going to save, and now I'm going to go edit, and we'll create the archive template. Before we start that, let's take a quick look at the user interface here. This tells us what template we are editing, which is nice. Here we can close this and go back to the WordPress admin. We'll see this in action. This gives us a tree view, section view, or wireframe of the different elements in our template. These are pre-designed templates that we can load. The local library would be ones we've created and saved. These are ones from the Zion website that you can preview and import. Okay, I'm going to close out of this. This is where we can go into the revisions, into the history after we make changes, if we make a mistake or need to go back to a previous version. This is where we can test how the template's looking on different device sizes, and we can see that Zion gives us 4 options here. These are the page options, or options for the template. We'll come back to that in a minute. Here's some information about Zion. So there's a tour, there's some keyboard shortcuts, exit and go back to the WordPress dashboard, go to the Zion Builder dashboard, you can view the post. And these are save options. And if you just want to save, you can just click the checkbox. Okay, it already knows it's a template. And let's look at the page options here. So it has the title, the status, the default layout. Featured image doesn't apply here. Now this is an interesting feature. You can add custom CSS or JavaScript. They'll just be used on this template. This is good for creating the template. You can set your preview. And this is where you can work with global CSS classes. Okay, in the middle here, this is where we add the elements to the page. And you can see there are 3 tabs here. This is for layouts, kind of pre-designed size layouts. This is for elements. You can see they're put into different categories, but you can also just scroll down to find them. Or more likely, you know what you want, like say a button, and you just search for it. And then this is another way to get to the templates. Okay, so basically what we're going to do now is we're going to create one record of the archive and then have that repeat. So let's start. We'll add a section, and then you want to be sure you're adding inside the section and not below the section. So just to make it so that it's easy to see what we're doing here, I'm going to start by adding some light colors here, and we can remove these later, but just so we can see what we're doing. Now inside the section, I'm going to add a container. And now let's edit the settings of the container, and let's give this a different background color. Let's say a very light blue. You notice it's not coming out full width, it's kind of small there. So let's go to the size, change it from pixel to percent and say 100%. So now we see here's our section, here's our container inside of that. Now let's go and edit the section again. And Xyon Builder has a cool feature where you can turn kind of a div or whatever into a repeater option, and the outer container is your provider. Okay, it's going to use the query we have set up for the book archive. Okay, and then we're going to turn this container here, go to its settings, and that is going to be the consumer. We can see it's kind of repeating there. So now inside the container, we want to add 2 columns. See, I think it added them after. So let's go to our revisions here. Let's go back to this. Nope. Okay. So we're here. We want to insert inside the container, not under it. So inside the container, we're adding 2 columns. There we go. And now on the left, we're going to add the featured image. And we want to edit the settings for the image. And you notice it has an option here for dynamic data. So we want this to be the featured image. We'll have it be centered. Okay, now I'm expecting to see that repeated here. So I'm going up to the container again and enabling that. There we go. Okay, I don't know how we lost that setting, but we did. You can see now the image is our different sizes. So let's go back and edit the image. And we might as well have it link to the post page. Okay, and now let's go to the image itself and sizing and spacing. And we'll have it set for, let's say, 150 pixels wide, and let's say 225 tall. So there's our featured image. Just going to save that. Now over here inside this column, let's add our heading, the title, and let's edit that. This is a real lifesaver because it's kind of hard to figure out which one of these to click to get to the context menu up here. Alright, and we want this to be dynamic data post title. Awesome. And I guess we'll have it be an H2. And we can make that title a link. So that's fine. Great. Now under the title, let's add the excerpt. Let's make this a text. And we'll edit that. And let's go to dynamic data and we'll say excerpt. Okay, and then under the excerpt, let us add a button. Okay, we'll edit that. Okay, and we'll use dynamic data here. Go to the post page link. Make it small. Let's put it in the middle. So we're looking pretty good here. Let's add a little space in between here. And let's add a little space. And now let's go to our container, styling, and let's add some margin at the bottom. Okay. And then on our featured image, let's put a little padding on the top of that. So I think we're looking pretty good here. Let's save this and close it. And now let's go to the home page and look at our book archive. Looking pretty good except for our button here. Let's edit that. Oh yeah, we can remove the colors we have here. But let's fix this read more button. So it's showing as a button here in the editor, but not on the front end, so there's some kind of disconnect there. So I don't remember what I did with this button, so I'm just going to delete it and start over again. Okay, let's edit the button, add the link, set the size. And now I'm going to try to add a button class, and maybe missing something, but the way I see it do this is with the attributes. Okay, let's try adding some margin there. And let's see, let's try centering it. Looks good. Let's save that and go look. Refresh. Oh man, still a disconnect. Go back to the editor. Try setting the margin auto. Now see if we can get that working that way. So I'll do top and bottom 0 pixels. And left and right I'll do auto. Okay, save that. Refresh. Okay, it's aligned now in the middle, but we're not showing the button on the next record, so there's still some kind of problem. So I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's a conflict with the theme, or maybe user error, or maybe there's a bug, but I'm just going to move on and go ahead and remove the placeholder background colors and fix that part. Okay, let's go to the section and remove that pink color first. Styles, go in background. I think you just click this. Yep, that deleted it. Now go to the container. Let's make that white instead of a light blue. Okay, check that out. That's looking pretty good. Let's put some margin at the top. Go to the section. Styles, wrapper. Yep. And let's put some margin at the top. Save that. Go refresh. Awesome. Okay, can I add a custom field to the archive? Let's try adding the author's photo as a test to see how flexible the archive builder, theme building function of the archive is. So let's do that next. Go back. We'll add an image. Go to dynamic data. Go scroll down, ACF field. Pick the ACF field. Author's photo, good. Great, now let's center that. Awesome. Add some margin to the top. Good. I think some of these author photos might be different sizes. So I'm going to set a size. Yep. Now they're all the same size. Save that and go check. Awesome. So our archive's done. Other than that little glitch with the button there, everything went pretty smoothly. Let's take a look at a single record next. Alright, that's the next step then, is to work on this. Okay, let's go back into the editor. We can close these things, and now we can close the component. So that was the book archive template. Now let's add book single template. And we're going to apply that to all books. And let's save that and go edit it. So this one will be a little easier. Let's add a section. And I'm going to give the section a top margin. Okay, inside the section, let's add our container. Okay, you see it's for some reason small again. So let's go into the container settings and let's go to percentage. Set this to be 100%. And on styling, let's set this of a background color of white again. Okay. Now inside this container, let's add our two columns. On the left, we're going to add image, and this should be familiar now. We're going to select the featured image and have it align center inside the column. And then the image styles, we're going to set the size the same. I think that was a width of 150 and a height of 225. Okay, and then we'll put some margin at the top. Now on this side, we're going to add our heading, our title. We'll edit that. We want the dynamic data, the post title. Okay, after that heading, we're going to add a container element. Inside the container, we're going to add a text element. I'm going to build up the post meta here. On with a space, and then we're going to add another text element. And in this one, we'll use dynamic data and have the post date. All right, so we're just going to stack these up here. We'll add another text element and edit that one. And here we'll put a space and a bar. Oops. Space, bar, space, and do by, space. And then we'll add another text element. We'll add this one. And we'll do dynamic data, and you can see you can scroll down here. It's not obvious, but we'll have now the author. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go to this container and edit it, and horizontal. Let's add underneath that our post content. Okay, and give a little space for that. Now let's save and go take a look on the front end. Okay, so that's looking pretty good. Now let's add in our custom fields. Let's go to our columns. Now, so we don't have as much of a space. Now under the image in our column, let's add another image. Okay, and edit that. Dynamic data, whoops, dynamic data. We want it to be an ACF field. And let's choose the author's photo. Great, let's center that. Let's go to size and spacing. Let's give that some space on top. Then let's go to the image itself. Some of these images might be different sizes. So let's make sure that they all show the same. And I think this was, what, 150 width? Nope. I think this was, what, 100 width? And it's square images, so 100 height. Now, below the image, let's add a button. Okay, and let's edit the settings for the button. And we'll add the link for that. ACF field. And it's going to be author's website. Great. We'll center it. And let's go and give that some spacing on the top, some margin. And let's save that. Now let's go check and see how this is looking. All right. And if we click on that, we go to the author's website. That's all working great. The walkthrough portion is complete. Now for discussion and conclusions. I was pleased that I was able to complete the task and create the single and archive templates. I've seen people mention that the Xiyam Builder has a lot of bugs. The problem for me was the Read More button in the archive. What showed in the editor did not match what showed on the front end, and on the front end only the first one showed as a button. I'm not sure if that was a theme conflict, user error, or a bug, but I played around with it a bit off video and couldn't get it right then either. More generally, it seemed like there were some rough edges in the user interface. You tend to see a lot of round plus buttons, which isn't always helpful because it's not always obvious what container they are tied to. It would have helped if there was more visual container definition. Remember, I added temporary background colors to the section and container when making the archive for that reason. Also, finding and picking the right contextual menu for the element on the canvas was difficult, but using the tree view worked fine. It would have made things quicker and easier if when you added a new element, its options panel opened automatically. Instead, the previous panel stayed open on screen. Additionally, it would be nice if you could double-click an element and have its option panel open also, so that you didn't have to always use the tree view. Looking at the options for each element, the general, the style, and advanced options, I like the range available. I thought it was easy to style the different elements and center them. It was easy to pick the advanced custom fields. The repeater functionality worked well. It was flexible enough that I could add an ACF image field to the book archive. You can't do that with the Divi or Elementor Pro theme builders, for instance. The Zion Builder is one of the new breed of page builders that's trying to improve on the previous generation, but finding the sweet spot of ease of use, good performance, features, and flexibility. Zion Builder is off to a good start. There are still some rough edges, but the builder is being actively developed, so I feel like it's still a little bit early days here. Consequently, I'm watching to see what the developers do in the next few months. I think that the Zion Builder has a lot of potential. That's my walkthrough and review of the Zion Builder. There's a text version of the video available on the WebTNG website, along with other walkthroughs, reviews, and resources. Hope you found the video helpful. Thank you for watching.